Pets and Furniture Part 2, Keeping the Peace. Let's say you have a significant other who doesn't want the dog in bed, but one significant other does want the dog in bed, or the dog wants to be in bed with the owner, but the owner doesn't want to sleep with the dog, or if there's several dogs in the family and they don't share space nicely. These are some brainstorming ideas. What you come up with might not look like what I'm going to come up with, but it might give you some ideas for a jumping off point for brainstorming. Let's pretend this is your bed. You can imagine the bed being higher or bigger. And let's say you have a situation where you want the dog to be close to you, but you don't want the dog in the bed. One option is to add a second bed. It doesn't have to look like this. It can be a pet bed, it can be a day bed, a twin size regular bed, or even a full size or queen size regular bed. You just push it up next to your bed. So this way, two significant others or humans could sleep on this side and the pet can sleep on this side. So the pet is still close to the human who desires the closeness, or another pet could go in this other bed and you have space. You'll want to positively condition the pet's bed. Make it the best thing in the world. Sleep on it to get your smell on it. Put some human linens on it. Play tricks on the bed. Feed treats on the bed. So your dog will desire to be here instead of the human's bed. And if the human wants, he or she can still reach over and pet the dog and soothe the dog and talk to the dog. Just not allow the dog onto the human's bed. Let's say that a dog still tries to get over to the human's bed. Then what we can do is just add a barrier. And in this instance, I added a barrier that was see-through to keep the dog comfortable. And the human could reach over it to pet the dog if he or she desires. Could reach her fingers through to pet the dog if so desired. And of course, we should keep safety in mind when using a barrier. This is just one example of a barrier. You don't want the dog jumping over the barrier. You don't want the dog knocking down the barrier. Or you don't want the barrier falling on anyone. A playpen might work, and stretched out exercise pen actually might work. Or you might need something taller like a room divider, but then you can't reach through and pet the dog. And what if you have a really smart dog like Puddin, who understands she can't go through the barrier here, so she just goes around the barrier and jumps up on the foot of the bed? There are several remedies for that. You can have a really high footboard. Just make sure the dog doesn't jump in and injure himself. Or you could put an exercise pen around the bed. See, now we have the foot and the side of the bed blocked off with an exercise pen. And with the dog's bed over here. You can also stack things at the foot of the bed to make it difficult to climb up there. Now, depending on your situation and depending on how much room you have, another option is for the human, let's pretend this is a human's bed, for the human to have the bed in the middle, and one dog can be on this side and have their own dog bed, and one dog can be on the other side and have their own dog bed. Caution, if you have multiple dogs who don't share space well, if it leads to fights or extreme tension, it's just best to not let anyone on the bed at all. But if you have only the occasional mumbling that doesn't lead to anything just because there's not enough space, then splitting them up might be an option. Now let's say you don't want your dog getting on your bed during the daytime when nobody's sleeping. Just put obstacles there. You can put the playpen all the way around the bed. You can close the bedroom door. You can put a baby gate across the bedroom door. Or just pile things on top of the bed to make it difficult for the dog to get on. Boxes or place the pillows so it's hard to get on. But of course, if you highly reward the dog's own bed, you make it the best place in the world, they won't be that interested in your bed, hopefully. But make sure you get your scent on the dog's bed as well.